Y'all ready for a gimmicky run today? Because it's the Swift Sword. Introduced alongside the Killstreak speed buff, this weapon gets criticals whenever you have that buff active. It's a weapon that works very well for me because I usually play Dead Cells in a hyper-aggressive Berserker style. With everything so bunched up in 5-cell mode, it should be very trivial to make sure that I have this buff on at all points in time. However, the problem arises when I'm going to be fighting bosses. When I need this weapon the most, it's going to start to falter because, well, you're only fighting bosses one-on-one. You can't really get kill streaks going because you don't really have multiple enemies to fight. This is not to say that it will never happen. I mean, maybe if I'm up against the Conjunctivius, I could potentially kill enough of the... Wow, this is a very stressful start to this run, by the way. I might be able to kill enough of the tentacles to manage to get the buff on, you know, during the summoning phase of the... During the summoning phase of, like, the Hand of the King, I might be able to get something working. But, outside of, like, a couple specific affixes that you can get rarely on skills, like, powers that will give you, increase your speed for 10 seconds, or something like... I know there's also affixes that exist that are, like, get a speed buff when you get a critical with the weapon. I'm not... Yeah, it's just not going to work out very well in the hardest fights in the game. But I've never really tried to use this weapon all that much, and I do think that there is something I can do to maybe make it work anyway. Because although there's not really a true speed buff on demand type of thing in the game, you know, it's mostly based on if you manage to get those affixes, there is one mutation that does... Well, get kind of close to working like that. I'm talking about masochism. And that's where the whole super gimmicky episode comes in. Basically, as long as I have masochism, I can combo that with... Oh, come on now. As long as I have masochism active, I can combo that with Frenzy to heal up any of the damage that I'm going to be taking. And then I can also maybe combo that up with the velocity mutation to make sure that I have the speed buff be extra lengthy. And then even though not every boss arena does include some sort of trap in it, enough of them do to make it still work out. The Conjunctivius has spikes on the side, so does the 5 boss cell spoiler boss. The Hand of the King has spike pits on the side of his arena. And, you know, famously the Giant has the crystal attack, which does count as trap damage. So, pretty much this entire run is going to be based around me just barreling head first into spikes, spike balls, maybe even lava. I'm not entirely sure if that is counted as a trap, but hey, if it is, great. And then regenning up all of that damage instantly, and getting some really good damage off this weapon alongside that. Is this going to work? I don't know. I mean, a very similar sort of run was the Spite Sword run I did a while ago, and that was good. So, maybe? I don't know. I mean, hey, if anything, this might just be an extra fast run, given that I am going to be having that speed buff up pretty much all the time. It is going to take a little while to set up. I do need to get all 3 of the mutations kind of working together to be very effective, but as soon as that happens, I think that I might have something going on. I have absolutely no idea. I kind of came up with this whole idea when I was prepping up for the Dead Cells series, and I'm just like, hey, this could be fun. Either way, it's like, it is also... I should be doing a little bit more with the whole challenge runs and everything. And then, now that Crosscode is finishing up, only a single episode left to go. And I have, you know, I've opened back up, like, the poll and everything. I've been focusing a lot on kind of the side series, which, you know, is fun for me, but hey, a lot of people are coming here to see, like, these sort of episodes, not me playing through Dead Cells. Which, by the way, if you don't really know anything about Dead Cells, that game can be very long, but, you know, as all roguelite styles go, it's only going to be a couple episodes. I think I got like 2 left, despite the fact that I feel like I've played it for over 40 hours this week alone. I do really like that game, but, you know, it is also nice to be coming back to something that I know I'm very good at, rather than, hey, I played this once before, so I should at least be able to be passable in a video. Well, hey, look forward to more. Hey, look forward to that series ending up pretty soon, because despite the fact that I am doing this episode right now, I'm still pretty much immediately going to go back to starting to work on that again after this. And I think that overall, aside from a couple technical hiccups that have happened, that's been going great. A lot of really lucky stuff. If you thought I got lucky back in Enter the Gungeon, well, you ain't seen nothing. Actually, that's not true at all. I got like the high dragon fire. I got like rainbow chest. That was maybe the luckiest I've ever been in video games, and I managed to capture it on camera. What a good series that was. But yeah, no, the Dead Cells one is maybe giving it a run for its money. Flamethrower yeah, I'll get rid of this. Sure. I think the bleed will be nice here. I do want to set up some synergies, which is why I got stuff like the Alchemic Carbine going on, but I don't really have much of a plan aside from make sure I got that speed buff on all the time. And as soon as I get Frenzy, it's gonna be real nice. All right. Yeah, I mean, overall, I do always like doing the sort of like viewer suggested type of stuff. I got Dead Cells right now, but after this, I think it's going to be playing the original Doom, which is great. It's always something like the first game that gets suggested is something that I've already played for like hundreds of hours, sometimes already for the channel. But then the second one is something completely out of left field, like playing Momodora or Crosscode, actually, which I ended up enjoying a lot. Basically what I'm saying is I'm glad that I have it, that I take 2 suggestions for each one of those polls. Although I would like to get a little bit better way to end up doing that. Because as it is right now, I'm pretty much whoever gets in first has a huge advantage as far as what people are going to be voting for. And I would like it to be a little bit more random. But I don't want it to be like a full-on regular poll type of thing. Because I want it to be, you know, something weird out of left field that I wouldn't normally play myself. Even if, you know, it is a series that's already been on the channel, there's something very fun about the idea of making a series, of just making a series where I can go out and explicitly say, nope, you guys voted wrong. Good job. I don't know, maybe it's something that only amuses myself, but I love it. So yeah, I mean, it's like not having it be something, having it be like literally anything to be suggested is always a fun part of that whole deal. But basically, I do think that it's going to be like, yeah, the first thing is going to be a game that I've already played a lot. Second thing is just going to be something weird. So look forward next time when I play Darkest Dungeon for the 5th time now. Never on the channel, but it's been a few times for me. And then combine that with, I don't know, Gene Forge. Why Gene Forge? Why not? Combine that with Yggdra Union. I have played that game, but I never actually finished it. I think that would be pretty fun to do for a series on the channel, but also it's incredibly long and incredibly difficult, so you would have to force me to do it, I guess is what I'm saying. All right, 109 kill streak. And I got Phaser over there. I compared this a little bit to the Spite Sword and, you know, holding up the shield and everything like that, except this is going to be running to spikes. Spikes do not cause you to get melees, so it does kind of work out. At least this is the theory. I have no idea what's actually going to happen over the course of this run, but I'm going to try to make it work regardless. But yeah, the Phaser and like the Assassin's Dagger is maybe a little bit more apropos as far as a... that'll work. As far as a comparison goes, because the Phaser and Assassin's Dagger are 2 items that were clearly created at the same time, and... yeah, then we'll just take Masochism last. We're 2 items that were clearly created at the same time and were kind of created for each other. So I do think that yeah, the whole idea of having like the swift sword and the speed buff, even though the speed buff isn't technically an item by itself, it has that same sort of feeling to it. I mean, same thing with like a lot of the knockback stuff that exists in the game. And two things that were made for each other. Matches made in heaven. Do not get killed immediately. I just started out the run. I just got the episode like I like it. And yeah, despite the fact that I have banned stuff like the Hokuto's bow now, I haven't banned stuff like the Alchemy Carbine. This is still good for just setting up some good synergies, as well as getting a little bit of that extra, a little bit of that extra, I am very worried about getting hit right now, is basically what I'm about to say. A little bit of that extra damage, a little bit of that extra... Good enough. Extra damage, extra range, and just some synergies in the damage I'm getting. Because one of the important things with Frenzy is that it's only a fraction of the damage. It's only a fraction of the damage that you're dealing, which means that even if I have this buff pretty much constantly on, I do need to, in one way or another, make sure that I have the damage to actually heal me up a decent amount, because otherwise it's not really going to be... It could be so negligible with this weapon that it's not going to matter at all. That's not really what I want to happen, but it is something that I could foresee happening. Also, just in general, that regen is going to be very, very important over the course of this run, because I'm not going to get my usual Dead Inside mutation. I'm not going to get my usual... Scary. I'm not going to get my usual Dead Inside mutation. I'm not going to get my usual... I am very stressed out right now. These enemies are very aggressive. I guess it only makes sense for how I'm doing this run right now. Good lord. Soldier's Endurance is the word that I was trying to think of, and then... all of that happened. Yeesh. Should I go into the Ancient Sewers, or should I go into the Rampart? I think I'm going to hit up the Rampart, make sure that I got a food shop coming, and that I'm not going to be dying here. Malaise is still going to be more of an issue. Holding up the shield in the Spite Sword run worked out well because, you know, you could very much choose the sort of damage you were taking. Here, aside from running directly into spikes, it's like I don't really get to choose it. It's a lot more constant than trying to use something like Adrenaline, but it's also can be harder. So yeah, the first boss, I guess, is unless I really decide to go up against the Conjunctivius. I'm not going to make any promises on that, but it's not entirely off the table. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to get the whole gimmick of the run working just yet. It's still working pretty well despite that. You know, I will say this. This weapon, despite the fact that, yeah, it is very, very gimmicky, it is also, like, it's a cool type of weapon. It's, you know, it's got this banana yellow type of style to it. But also at the same time, it has like a black power glow, which is something that you only otherwise see in the Sadistic Dagger. And just in general, it's like, it's a decent weapon. It does good damage, it's nice and fast, it works out pretty well. I would put it kind of like, without the gimmick, it's sort of on the style of like the Wrenching Whip or the Wrenching Whip or like the Impaler, in the way that it's just kind of, it's a good weapon. It's not a really amazing weapon, but not every weapon needs to be amazing. It's just, you know, hey, there's also not a whole lot of stuff that exists in the game, just period, that works with the speed buff. I guess it's because the speed buff just by itself is good. It's good to have. I mean, being able to move around at high velocities. Let's save that for a little bit later. Being able to move around at high velocities means that you can dodge a little bit better, means that you can, you know, run in and out of the fray with no problem at all. But still, I would like to see more items have, like, more synergy with it. It's sort of like hitting at, you know, to bring back the Assassin's Dagger comparison, hitting enemies in the back is something that you just don't really see enough in the game. Sure, you got Phaser, sure, you got the Assassin's Dagger, but I don't know. I'd like to see even more than that. A spike boot. A fun item, but, you know, not really going to be very useful right now. I like what I got going on right now. This is something that it will... This is something that plays to... You know, that helps out with the weaknesses of the weapon and also plays to its strengths and everything like that. I should remember that since I'm not using Dead Inside, I can actually eat food, so... Maybe worst comes to worst, just leave some infected watermelons around and manage to heal up a lot if my frenzy starts to fail me. I don't know. I also completely forgot to use the iron key for the last area, but well, also at the same time, boy, I just needed to get out of that place too. It was getting pretty scary. Those slime monsters, I cannot... They're like toxic miasma, is that their name? These new enemies, I'm still kind of struggling to remember what the exact name of them are. The knights are called Guardian Knights. The rats are... celebrating another one, a birthday bash. I don't remember. Okay, fine. I've forgotten all the names, I'll admit. He. And by he, I mean, my malaise. Well, hey, you know... Sure, I'm going to be doing a lot of my healing through Frenzy, but that doesn't mean that I don't still have the potion charges ready to go, which I can just use. I can, you know, here's the plan. I will keep everything... I will be keeping the potion charges for Malaise healing. Everything else will be done through Lifesteal on my sword. Which might be kind of questionable, but I think will work out just fine anyway. I don't know. It's too bad that, yeah, there's also not really a whole lot of traps in here. Otherwise, I would really try to start getting the usage out of my masochism already. But hey, this is also kind of like the strategy that I'm hoping to have happen late game rather than immediately. As it is, though, the sword is working out quite well. Please tell me there's land below me. Okay, good. Sword is working out quite well, and I mean, I'm you know, go into a place like the Slumbering Sanctuary, get into the cavern, go fight the giant. It's like, it's even going pretty fast too. So, I don't know. Thinking about it though, I'm betting that this is probably the type of run that a million people have tried and a million people have done, but I didn't really think about it, and nobody told me to do it. Even something like the Spite Sword, which, you know, I know which conceptually is pretty obvious. I just never really considered until somebody told me in the comments section. Basically what I'm saying is tell me more ideas for these showcase runs in the comments section, and I will do them. Give me some weird gimmicky stuff. Actually, just got one in the last Dead Cells episode where people were talking about, well, where one person was talking about trying to get some renewed usage out of the ice shards, the ice shock, because that is a weapon that definitely had its heyday, but it's kind of seen as, I mean, it can do good damage, but it used to be real overpowered. These days, not quite as much. And I'm interested in doing that, maybe even for the next run. It's either that or the Sadistic Dagger, just because, well, the Sadistic Dagger is another one of those items that you can pretty much get constant criticals on. Something like Adrenaline, I'm sure, would also synergize well with that. Extreme regen builds is kind of how I've described these before, which usually doesn't work out too well because of, well, the general limitations of having Malaise be in the game, but certainly works out fine right now. Just got to make sure that you're preparing yourself and still playing well. Just because you have a lot of regen here doesn't mean that you're immune to damage. It just means that upon making a mistake, the run's not over, like you're playing like if you were playing Tactics. I don't know, in general I do like the gimmicky type of runs. I think they're fun. Especially ones where the idea is that you're supposed to be just... Oh, I did 9 left. I should have probably just went and tried to get that working for me. Yeah, the idea that you're trying to like take damage and then regen it all back up, or like get super huge buffs from that. I always think back to like Order of Ecclesia. Oh, my head fixed itself. By the way, there was a glitch there, if you didn't notice. No critical, but hey, the damage is still actually okay, despite that. If only I can get like 100% on burning oil, would work out pretty well for me. Ooh, this is gonna be a problem. Oh, like literally the last second, because I'm pretty sure the animation was like on my character, but the hitbox was not. Oh, again, the incredible hits. And somebody has sent me a. And somebody sent me a picture on Twitter that was me clearly getting hit by one of the Guardian Knights, but I wasn't actually taking damage. And I looked at that and I'm just like, yeah, that's Dead Cells hitboxes for you. Who am I to disagree? One of the things I always say about games, I always bring up like a Super Mario World, or any of the Mario games really, where you as the player are always going to be. Okay, good. You as the player are always favored when it comes to hitboxes. If it seems like you're about to be hit by an enemy at the same time that you're about to jump on top of that enemy, for example, you're always the one that gets preference. And that's how I think you should do games, and I think that's also how Dead Cells is doing it. Where the hitboxes are just 1 second? Oh, come on now. Where the hitboxes are just slightly smaller than it seems like they should be. It also makes me look super cool and or like I'm cheating sometimes. Why did I even check that? Anyway. Okay. Stilt Village, no. We're going up to the Slumbering Sanctuary because, like I said, there's a ton more traps to be found there, and this is the point in time that I'm going to be running non-existent headfirst into everything as I usually do, even when that's not what the run is supposed to be all about. Watch out for the curses, though. I'm still thinking that curses are going to be the thing that takes me down. It's just far. Huh. Okay, then. Live fast, die young. You know how it goes. I guess I can't really be too surprised that that was the outcome here, because I am flying without the usual sort of... That was very close. I am flying without the usual sort of safety measures. No dead inside, no soldier's endurance, and that means that this is a little bit closer to a... This is a little bit closer to a tactics run compared to the usual sort of brutality run. It might also be the case that... Ow. Okay, fine. This is about the point in time that I do want to use like a potion charge, though. Could also be that I wasn't really paying too much attention to my health in general, and I just happened to maybe be going a little bit too hard into brutality. Nah. Not possible. Not possible as far as I'm concerned. It might be worth, if I have to do this once again, instead going for a... What do I even... Oh, wow. I was going to say, it's like, what do I even want here? I want this. Anyway. Yeah, I might want to consider dropping the velocity mutation in favor of maybe going for a... I said no. In favor of going for something like that inside instead. I should have enough regen that it's not going to matter, that I'm not really going to be getting healed from food. Besides getting the extra slots for... Yarg. Anyway, getting the extra slots for like malaise and everything will probably help out a lot too. I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess what I'm going to say right now is know that I could have just taken that invisibility necklace and cheesed out the rest of this run, but I chose not to. Ah, here's the second potion charge. No, yeah, I mean having the ice bow is nice and everything, kind of prevent say getting in a group of enemies that are going to be absolutely taking me down instantaneously, but it's not going to help too much when I could really use like just a regular old what am I even thinking of? When I could just use like a regular old shield instead and probably have saved myself a little bit of damage there. Hey, y'all. I guess the thing I'm really worried about right now is dying to a curse. Even though that is not what I died to last time when that was the thing that I was worried about. I'm still... Do you guys mind? I'm not using a potion charge again. Not yet. Maybe soon, but not yet. Oh, man. This is quite rough now, isn't it? I'll just wait for this guy to start just like wait for some teleportation stuff to go on here. Alright, alright. 2 potion charges should be enough though, right? Maybe. Potentially. I'll malaise myself up with some food right now, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there. Yes, Extreme Berserker, I suppose, does have its own issues when you're playing the game now, doesn't it? Ah, that's actually very nice. I don't necessarily need Corrupted. You know what? I think just for right now, I think I'm just going to get rid of Corrupted Power entirely. I was mostly having that on for the poison, and yet that didn't really come up as much as I was hoping. Okay. Yeah, and there's... Given that the whole immune to fire thing is probably going to be coming into play. That should do it. Good. And yeah, that should be some healing. Careful, careful. I don't know what I want to do here. Maybe I'm just going to go back and instead try my hand at fighting some of the enemies in the earlier part of this. Maybe. God, this should be like the last cursed chest that I have to deal with, but it's like I'm still very much worried in spite of that. Okay, good. That will definitely work. Might even want to go have that get into the duel with the duelist and make that work for me as well. No, this is working out okay. Didn't even have to use that 3rd potion charge, thank God. But I'm not gonna say it wasn't close. Not gonna say it wasn't close. All right. Well, you got anything of any interest? I guess, but it's not like a big upgrade or anything, so forget about that. Ice, ice is gonna help out a lot, I think. It's just, I'm still very worried here. Might want to take it a little bit slower, but that is, come on, man. It's not the run. That's not what we're doing. This isn't. I don't live that sort of lifestyle. Even if I should, even if all common sense and reason would tell me that I should be living that. Oh, it's an elite. Great. I see you there, demon. You're. Come, stop it. Stop doing that to me. I won't be tempted. Ridiculous. Can you imagine that there are people that never see necklace affix? I don't know what's wrong with me. Or what's right with me, more specifically. It's just, that's how it happens. It's just how it happens. Hey, there's Ice Shard. Which I think I called Ice Shock earlier. I don't know. You know, I think I'm okay not taking that last scroll fragment. I think I'm happier just getting out of here and getting into the cavern. What a weird run. But hey, I said gimmicky. Can't say it's not living up to the name. Not using the... I guess it's really going to be for the last couple bosses that I'm really going to get a lot of the usage out of the jumping into pits and everything. Still, I would like to check to see if I do get, like, resistance to jumping into lava. Maybe make that work for me, but this is not really the time either. I don't know. Weird. It's just strange. I did actually give up my ice bow, or I did actually give up in favor of the ice bow the a spiked shield, which was, I mean, could have actually been pretty good thinking about it, but I do think that, hey, this is at least a little bit more interesting, a little bit stranger of a, please stop this already. You... Ice bow, you're failing me. Okay, well, anyway, there is a food shop in here. I'm probably not going to be able to afford a potion charge, but I will be able to afford a... I might not be able to afford a potion charge. I will be able to afford a... something. The cough syrup, at least, to get rid of some of this malaise. Which is kind of what I really need more than anything else right now. Hi. Might be immune to a lot of... Shouldn't have actually used vampirism there. I was just so obsessed with smashing that like button. Okay. This is a weird... Yeah, you know, I said it several times at this point. I still hold to the fact that this is a weird run. Anyway, let's at least try to get rid of these arbiters as fast as possible. And deal with that instead. I don't really know what the giant fight is going to be like. I'm being perfectly honest here. Ooh. I'm hoping that it's going to go well, but like I could easily see that also just being an absolute nightmare. That's the sort of place where, you know, having like 75% damage reduction would be very nice, but ain't really going to happen. It could also just be that, like, hey, I beat him fast enough that it's not even going to be a problem. Because this is a pretty powerful run. I got a very powerful sword just randomly from one of the shops there, which is an incredible get. Usually you don't really see this sort of luck as far as affixes go outside of legendary items. And usually legendary items after you re-roll a couple times. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. No, I thought I was going to be saved there. I don't know if that counts as a trap damage in the same way that, like, the giant version of it does. Almost got me. You almost got me too, but... Jumping over my stuff. Coming out of my cage. And I'm feeling... What does that song go like? Man, I don't even know. Maybe it would also be something good to get, like, a... causes bleeding on my ice bow, because that is something that I do think could possibly, like, be pretty useful. This is the end. I might just want to dip out of here right now. 26 is not a whole lot of stats, but well, 27 is better. I don't know. I am worried. I got a nervous grin going on here. I'm sure it's coming across in the commentary. Yeah, all right. Don't have enough money to afford the cough syrup of all things. Well, I guess I can kind of hang around here a little bit longer. I do want to make sure that I have, of course. Come on. I'm just silly. There. I don't know. I guess I can kind of hang around here. I don't want to see more stats anyway, and this is the thing that's going to make that happen. This is a good enough reason to be hanging around here to see if that happens. Nice try. Damage is very good, though. I do want to make that absolutely clear. Okay, 28. Need like 120,000, if I'm not wrong, to get the not the potion charge, but the other thing. So I guess that's That's what we're doing. Good. I'm glad to see that it's not a very long area. Well, I'll go check the shop again and see if I can't manage that. Nothing of any real interest there. Okay, good, good. More stats. Wasn't entirely sure if I see that floating box. I wasn't entirely sure if that was if I had get exhausted the amount of stats that I can possibly get in here. But it does not appear to be the case. It is 121. Dang. Oh, and there's even another stat down here. Good, good. The cavern is a questionable area at best to go to a lot of the times, but it does seem like it's working out in my favor anyway. Good. This is going to be a nightmare to deal with the Arbiter right now, but hey, it actually worked out okay. All right. What a time to be alive. I mean, any time is a good time to be alive. Okay. One more scroll fragment. I guess that is another... You know, looking at it right now, another scroll fragment is another stat, so... I'm gonna go do that. Wow, only four left. Okay. Okay. This is the sort of point in time where if this wasn't like something that would be ideal for this upcoming fight, I would really be switching out. I would really be switching out my my like masochism for. Actually, you know what? I can switch out velocity. Having it be X. I mean, I'm not really. Provided that I'm not going to be going into the castle, and I'm not. I can switch that out for instead getting Dead Inside and getting a whole lot more mutation slot, or getting a whole lot more malaise slots and a whole lot more health. Yeah, I think that's going to be the one to do, because having the speed buff remain around an extra long time is not that big of a deal. Mostly, right? I have no idea. That's just my hunch right now, basically. Okay, still want to get Frenzy, still want to get Masochist, but I want to get Dead Inside instead. All right, 3155. Not a whole lot of health, but hey, is some health. And worst comes to worst, I do have Vampirism. Maybe should have switched that out for something else, but it's fine. Skeleton even have like blood to be vampirizing? Why did I even shoot that with that? Okay. Take down this hand. Hopefully he's not going to, or if he does have his other hand. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's working out okay. The damage is good, and I'm feeling fine. Continuing to come out of my cage, etc. You know what? Let's just make sure that I'm going to be okay, because this is the point in time that I should be able to just donk and then get some cool mountain damage going on. Oh, that does actually give me malaise infection, though, which is kind of a problem. I do have 2 potion charges left, though. It's not... Yeah, no, this is working out okay. To be honest, I thought that it was going to be like trap damage and not cause me malaise issues. Oh, well, that said, I'm still going to take it. I've hypothesized before. Maybe the crystals are the cause of the malaise. If I'm getting malaised up by crystals, and I also get malaised up by like electric fields emitted by rock monsters. So what am I even saying? Not really a fair comparison, I suppose. All right. I am... It's not perfect, but I do think that this final fight where I just literally jump down to spikes over and over is going to be pretty funny, if nothing else. Yeah, no, this is, I would, to be honest, I would rather take the Spite Sword. I think Spite Sword first off, you get the shield. You don't have to take melees from some of these fights. And it's just, you don't also have to have this many mutations. You only really need the one mutation, like adrenaline, to make that thing work. And then you just need to have one of your slots taken up by a shield. So I think that is ultimately the better option. Yeah, well, let's it's super silly. Can't say it's ineffective. Just gotta take a dip down here. Don't worry, just give me 1 second. I'll be back here in 1 moment. Yeah, you can really see Frenzy start to get ridiculous in its power. Make sure I get rid of that first, just to be sure. Donk. And oh, so close, but taken out. Yeah, no, that worked out super well. I do think there is something to this sort of build, but I don't know. I don't know if I would really say, like, yeah, 100% thumbs up, go for it. Like, maybe something. Maybe there is a place for this, especially on, like, lower cell difficulty. I could see this actually being pretty good, but not on, like, 5 or up. It's a little bit too risky. Gimmicky, though. Certainly lived up to the whole gimmicky thing. I did also say, like, when I was fighting the concierge all the way back there, I do like the idea of, you know, having to hurt yourself to get damage and stuff like that. It's just, it's hard to make it work a lot of the times, you know, where it's not super overpowered. And oh, please, for the love of God. Oh, actually died there. Cool. That works for me. I mean, super weird, gimmicky types of builds are fun, but they also tend to be, like, super weird and gimmicky for good reason, where it's like, you're really better off using a more traditional type of build. I do think that something like the what am I even thinking of here? The Spite Sword can work even in spite of that. But, you know, I'm kind of torn, because I like the idea, but I also think it is, it's too much. I'll just look at shiny things in the skies and occasionally some floating boxes. I told you about Regeneration. Why am I looking at the lore room right now? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't look at the lore room. Anyway. Okay. Yeesh. Okay. Speed bonus is obviously going to be a lot less relevant here, you know, knowing especially that I got rid of velocity, but hey, what? Huh. Well, I can see this coming. Am I going to be able to even afford anything here? Hard to say, but I'll give it the old college try. Getting that, probably not a potion charge, but getting like a... Got it. I mean, I'm going to get attacked anyway, but still. Or not. No, I actually think I'm going to be okay. Oh yeah, getting like the cough syrup, it will be very useful. Potion charge I'd like to get, but there's no way I'm going to get enough money for that. Well, at least I'll say this. I'm just happy to be out of any areas where I could possibly have myself cursed right now. That is maybe the most important thing more than anything else. Just, you know what? I don't want to deal with your nonsense. All right, well, a 75% reduction is going to come in handy, because there's going to be an awful lot of projectiles being thrown around, and I don't know. Well, what else we got here? I could also, like, switch something out, maybe for, like, the oil grenade or whatever. Even though I do have oil on everything that I'm using right now anyway. It is not a huge concern, but it could work. Something that I've never actually tried is, hey, come on, dude. You know, I've never actually tried doing this properly. Nailed it. Just because I had a good opportunity with masochism here to try that out, I just wanted to at least give it an attempt. Because like I said, I've never really done it before. I always was too scared of taking too much damage, which is a reasonable fear, but at the same time, does prevent me from truly living. Fear is the mind killer and all that. Well, this is not great. All right, come on, Banana Man, Banana Sword Man. Why did I say that? Anyway, it's because it is yellow, but it's also like that's so stupid. And it's like I literally feel like I should be editing that out of the episode. It was such a dumb comment to say. Like, why even? That's something that is like, you know, amusing your 5-year-old nephew type of thing to say. He said banana. He's like one of them their minion things. Ugh, stupid. Anyway, where's the alien key? Get me out of this purgatory. Even though the run has actually been surprisingly quick, you know, it is still one that I did have to do twice, which does mean that even if video length-wise it wasn't that long, time actually spent playing the game was quite a while. Oh, I could also go take another attempt at the Sonic Crossbow area. Nah. Even with masochism, I don't really think that's the best idea. 3 hits to take him down? That's good. That's hot, that's hot. Alright, let's get out of here. I don't know if those electro beams count as trap damage, but much like falling into lava, it's not really something I want to check. Let me know in the comments if that is in fact the case. Because maybe that would be, you know, a better idea to, like, go and... Oh, wow, even with masochism. I guess it's because it does hit you multiple times, doesn't it? Oh, well, I'll still be able to regen this up pretty fast. We also are looking at a pretty stat-rich run, which means that stuff like Frenzy is going to be working overtime right now to give me a ton of extra healing, because I'm overkilling enemies so much. I'm already back up at 100%. And that's the whole thing, where it's like, in the final fight, I'm going to be just jumping into the spike walls that will be occasionally appearing, and then taking advantage of that to heal up a ton, and to get extra damage, of course. It's a multi-use tactic. It's not just it attacks, but also protect. Okay. Let's go! Well, I'll say this, I do feel confident in my ability to actually finish up this run, which is, you know, sometimes it's a little bit more questionable than this, but despite everything, it is still very much workable. Yeah, okay. Hey, nice. Not super helpful, but helpful enough. Anything else? Is it necessarily better? No, I'd rather have the 75% damage reduction and everything. That's one of those. That's always one of those affixes that you can get a good amount of usage out of. That was my soul trying to escape my mouth there for a second as I had to deal with yet another librarian. I got it back, don't worry. That slippery little thing thinks it can't escape. Oh, no. All right. Let's go. Yeah, an interesting build, too, just in general. Getting stuff like a 120, would that be enough to go get to... No, I need like 2. Actually, would it be enough to go get the cough syrup, if nothing else? I'm gonna go check real quick, just because. Yeah, what was I saying here? Also a very unusual type of build. Vampirism, ice bow. Flamethrower turret, no surprise there, of course, but that's always something that manages to find its way into my builds more often than not, because it's a very good brutality item. And, you know, get a little bit of range, get a little bit of range and all that, so that's obvious. But, you know, even Swift Sword, something that I usually don't think of being all that good. It's a solid weapon, certainly, but it's a lot like Impaler, like I said, where, hey, sure, it might be solid, but it's not exceptional. And I've played Dead Cells enough that I only accept the greatest of weapons in my builds. Yeah, right over here should be a couple extra jabronis to take care of, and then we're done. That should be enough to go get the cough syrup, which will have me sitting pretty for the final fight. Great. Cool and good. Bam. All the way down to 500 gold. And half of my malaise bar, but hey, it's better than what I was originally at. So I'm happy on that point. Let's go. Not going to be a perfect fight, obviously, but hey, it should still be a good fight. Anything where you're working on extreme regen. Extreme regen really does only work very well in endgame when you have extreme stats to back it up. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or anything. If anything, it means that you have a safer run happening. Maybe what I would really suggest is maybe think about switching into it, because all it requires is really one item and a couple of switching out some of your mutations if you got nothing better that you're really thinking about. Like I said, it's certainly safe for taking down like the Hand of the King. I didn't really feel like I was in much danger there. Well, you could also just go with a Spite Sword run, too. You know how it goes. Don't have the spikes on the walls just yet, but it's not going to be too long before that does happen. There's also the spike ball that just kind of like floats around the room if I'm even going to get to that phase. Not that I'm not expecting to. Yeah, spinning. It's a good trick, and it also prevents me from hitting him with my stuff. Let's make sure the malaise is not going to be my undoing. They took all... By the way, they took all of the... One of the things I noticed recently was that they took all of the archers out of the clock tower. So I don't really know where you're supposed to be getting the... Got it. I don't really know where you're supposed to be getting like the blueprint for the skeleton archer outfit anymore. Is it like just not possible or something? Freeze you just to make sure that your phase was a little bit slower. Just a little bit. Whatever. Here. Bring out the spikes, man. You know I need those spikes. Come on. 2, 3, 4. Oh, he went for the fifth one, eh? Whatever. I'm fine. Oh yeah, I shouldn't forget that I do also get like a refill on the vampirism when I do that. Bam, and... Oh, he's just taking so much damage from the fire alone. Well, let's at least get the kill with the actual weapon du jour. All right, yeah. I think the final judgments are it's no Spite Sword, but it works. It functions as a run. It's not entirely absurd to try and do this, but it is pretty ridiculous.